spare our lives done so. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I apparently cannot English. In war, you kill or capture your enemy. You don't leave him to fight another day. Only a fool would turn his back and walk away. But Xenos is no fool. Whatever his motive, this is neither the time nor the place to think on it. I will leave a token force to watch over the Reach. The rest will fall back to Castrum Orans. We can discuss our path forward there. Kryl is with Stola. She still hasn't woken up, but Kryl says she's through the worst. Given the severity of her wound, we could hope for no more. Let us pray she makes a full recovery. We lost a lot of good people, didn't we? I saw it happen when that Skull's commander cut down Malfred a single blow, and that was it. Everything he fought for, all his hopes and dreams for the future, gone in an instant. And do you want to know the worst part? It wasn't a Garlean who did it. It was an Alamegan. Gods help me if I ever... No, not now. Not while the general's waiting. Oh, Lise.
Were it not for the swift actions of the Scions and the Alliance, many more would have died. You risked your lives to save ours, and for that we thank you.
There is no need for thanks. We are allies, are we not?
Aye, just so. Let us not dwell on this tragedy, but look to the future.
The future? I'm sorry, General, but there is no future for us. We've lost too many. Gods, I can still see Mefrid with that woman standing over him. They've ripped the heart out of us, General. They've broken us. Our fight is over.
Master Kemp, please.
I'll always hate them with every fiber of my being. For what they took from us then and now. Our homeland, our freedom, our bloody children.
One of my favorite parts of this arc of the game and the storytelling within is that you can really understand both sides. Like, if you pay attention to the storyline and the lore and you understand everything that's going on, you can understand Raban's side and you can understand Lisa's side and how she feels, and it leaves you with this sense of not really being able to take one person of the other's side, like, emotionally. At least for me, anyways. I don't know about you guys or other people who have played through the game up until this point, but it left me with a sense of being able to, being unable to pick a side, because, like, you can understand everybody's side, even his. He's had his ass kicked by the army for how long now? And then he just lost one of his best friends and his, like, top companions, and he's seen all this death and all this destruction. And Relger's Reach is just in ruins right now. So, like, it really gives you that sense of being able to understand the storyline from each point of view.
You mean the Skulls? The youths who fight for Xenos?
Grania Lupi, the Black Wolf's legacy and our shame. A unit made up of children born to Alamegan dignitaries who came of age during the occupation. Sons and daughters of Gir Abania, raised to be proud citizens of the Empire, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. It'd be easy to curse them and call them traitors, but they're our children. Our flesh and blood. If the only way to forge the future we want is to cut down our own, then...
Then what was it all for?
Nargo?
What will you say to the families of the fallen? To the mothers, and the widows, and the orphans? Will you tell them it was all for nothing?
Listen to the girl. We dare not suffer our comrades' sacrifices to have been in vain. Now is the time to steel our resolve and press on, painful though it may be.
And when Xenos comes back with his army, what then? This isn't the first time, you know. You'll be hard-pressed to find men brave or stupid enough to face him again.
I still can't believe how strong he was. He humiliated us back there. The Warrior of Light included. Gods help us if he's next in line to the Garlean throne.
Loath though I am to say it, we should not be surprised. Before succeeding Van Baelsar in Alamigo, Xenos led the Imperial army to Doma, where he crushed the rebellion utterly. As a matter of fact, Doma remains in his charge to this day. Suffice it to say, Varus's heir is a peerless warrior and an accomplished general. The question is, how are we to contend with such a foe?
We fight and we fight and we keep on fighting until we win.
Come now, even you have your limits. But then, so too must he. One legatus ruling two provinces a world apart. Yes, divide and conquer. We kindle the flames of revolution in Doma once more, thereby forcing Xenos to fight a war on two fronts.
For that, there would need to be someone left to fight on this front by the time you got back. Look, I'll not deny the plan as promised, and I feel for our brothers and sisters in Doma, truly I do. But I fear we lack the strength to see it through.
Have faith in your people, Master Kemp. Them and the Scions. Hold fast, rebuild, and when all is in place, we shall defeat Xenos together.
If you're going to Doma, I'm coming too. I want to help our friends there, and make sure nothing like this ever happens again.
Give us the time we need, and we will give you something far greater.
Very well. For all you have done for us, we will fight on. But be swift, comrades. Alamigo has suffered enough.
Goes without saying, but the Scions alone have not the strength to topple a provincial government, here or anywhere else, and I am quite certain the same can be said of the Domain Liberation Front. Apologies about my English today. Nevertheless, we can go and assess the situation for ourselves and see what can be done. Lest you doubt what good we few can accomplish, I would remind you that my grandfather and his 12 disciples once journeyed these lands to save Eorzea and her people from certain doom. Brave souls with an impossible task, and Eorzea lives on. Our present mission may not be as monumental in scope, but it is no less important to the multitudes, whom we would free from the Imperial oppression, whom we will free. Alice is contemplating the logistics of a journey to the Far East. Where men go as one, there is life, and where there is life, there is cause to hope. Our grandfather believed that, and so do I. But before we can forge ties with our friends in the Far East, we must first find a way to reach them. Oathard is not exactly over the river and through the woods. I am one step ahead of you, dear sister, or rather, Tataru is. But before we discuss that, there is another issue I wish to address. Much as I would like it if we could all make the journey together, someone needs to remain to serve as liaison to the Alliance and the Resistance during this critical period. Moreover, as Y'shtola cannot be left unattended, then I should obviously remain. Very well, issue addressed. You know, Alfino, it would have been quicker to just ask, and markedly less patronizing. Alfino's like, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I suppose, would you be willing to look after Y'shtola and provide support to Arnvald and the others? Yes, Alfino, I would. You see, that wasn't so hard, was it? Enjoy your trip, and don't you dare return with a gift. Oh, I would not dream of it. Right, then. Sister, Lowly, Lise, gather your things. We are for Limsa. Tataru should be here any moment with our ship's captain. So we're going by sea after all. Is Merylweb, I don't know if I'm saying that right, lending us our pick of the Crimson Fleet? Not exactly. You're right in as much as we will be traveling by sea. Regrettably, it is simply not feasible for an airship to have such a distance without impossibly large fuel reserves, to say nothing of the inevitability of running afoul of the Empire's aerial defenses. But then, it is equally infeasible to sell an Eorzean alliance vessel halfway around the world without the Empire taking notice, which is this with only one other option. Ah, speak of the devil. Sorry to keep you waiting. May I present you the Captain Carvalian of the Kraken's Arms? This guy! The Kraken's Arms? Don't tell me you made a deal with pirates. Greetings and salutations, Scions. I take it from your comrade's tone that you no longer wish to proceed with our proposed arrangement. Not at all, Captain. Pray forgive my sister her outbursts. She has ever been one to speak her mind. I, on the other hand, am the very soul of discretion, as many as well-respected personages would attest, from the offices of the Admiral to the high houses of Ishgard. Ah, but where was I? Oh yes, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn do indeed still wish to employ your services. However, it is important that you are aware of certain extenuating circumstances. And intent upon securing passage to the Far East, you came to us, knowing to be proud purveyors of the said region's finest spices, which you steal from God-fearing merchants out of the high seas. Whatever privateering the Kraken's Arms may or may not engage in is strictly within the limits of the law as set forth by our Keeper of the Peace. More to the point, we are pragmatists. I see considerable risk in aiding your cause and negligible profit. Well, I, for one, think the captain has a point. The five seas can be extremely treacherous, and many a poor unfortunate soul has come to grief out there on the waves. Why, when we were in Ishgard, I heard the tragical tale of how the heir to House Durendir vanished at sea. Even now, nearly 20 years later, the poor count remains convinced that his son still lives and would pay a sultan's ransom for the news of his whereabouts. That look on her face. He's laughing too. Truly a tragedy for the ages, and a testament to the misfortunes that may befall us, as we should act without due consideration. But so long as you're prepared to abide by the capricious whims of fate, I am willing to oblige you this once. That said, in light of the recent rebellion, I trust you understand that I cannot deliver you to Doma itself. I can take you only as far as Kugane in Hingashi. We will require some time to procure sufficient provisions and make ready for departure. I humbly suggest you do the same. Go Tataru. She is so freaking cute. I'm not sure what just happened. I could have sworn he was about to turn us away, but then he changed his mind? Blackmail, is it? This is a dangerous game the two of them are playing. What guarantee do we have that Carvalian won't just throw us overboard? The poor little boy had only seen 14 summers when he left Ishgard. Can you imagine what it must have felt like to finally be free, explore the world, unbeholden to all the stuffy traditions of the Holy See? Such a shame that he may never return home. Without him, the Candide Durandrer must look elsewhere for a successor, and the good Lord Janakinard is one step closer to being the next in line. Suddenly, all those hours to terror past cavorting and capering at the Forgotten Night seem rather well spent, do they not? That said, I had intended to press the point more obliquely, and there was something disconcerting about the pleasure to terror took in making Captain Carvalian squirm. I thought it was funny. I don't know what you're talking about, Alfino. I thought it was hilarious. What do you mean? Why? As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I really hope you guys are enjoying the content thus far. Much love to each and every one of you. Don't forget to stay hydrated, be safe, take care of yourself, and if you did enjoy the comment, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Whoa, sorry about that. Greetings, Lily. What brings you to the toll of this day? What? You are for Doma. Heavens. You scions have shown us naught but kindness, but never in my wildest dreams did I imagine you would fight for our homeland. For 25 years we suffered under their tyranny, and then we spied an opportunity, the Emperor, dead, Garlemald, and chaos. It seemed the time was right. Beneath our Lord's banners we gathered and fought to reclaim our nation, but when Xenos arrived with the Legion, it was over in an instant. You are truly planning to travel to Doma. I do not know what to say. Forgive me. I shall aid you the best of my ability. Ours is a beautiful land, nestled on the eastern coast of Othard, along the banks of the One River. Our nation thrived, proud and free, until the Garleans came 25 years ago. The river was our lifeblood, free to travel and fish, but travel was soon restricted, and now the river belongs to none. What is it, my friend? You look as though you have something to ask. That you go to join Yagiri and Kasetsu in the fight fills me with such joy. Forgive my exuberance. You require information, yes? We of the Nage clan, I think that's how you say that, Nage, have served Doma faithfully for generations. My ancestors held positions within Doma Castle. Even now, it is home to the Imperial Viceroy's witch and her host of men in Magitech. To think that that was once the shining symbol of our heritage, and the seat of dear Lord Kayan has become a den for Garlean dogs. There you are. Learn anything interesting? The older Domans I spoke with tried to teach me all about the Far Eastern customs and the importance of formality and politeness. I'd like to think Eorzeans can be just as stiff and stuffy as anyone, especially Ishgardians. But anyway, did you know they eat with sticks? It wasn't all that hard, actually, or at least that's what I thought until they told me I was holding them wrong. And then when I spoke to the younger Domans, they just rolled their eyes and told me it was all a load of stupid old... Don't feel bad, Leaf. I can't eat with chopsticks either. My man and my son can both eat with chopsticks. I cannot do it. I just cannot do it. Wow, what you learned sounds a lot more useful, unless someone invites us for dinner, of course. I hope they do. I'll take the materia. Leaf thinks it's time you return to Limsa. Right, no point in waiting around here, is there? We should head back to Limsa. Alfino said to meet at the ferry docks, I think. It's times like this I'm glad we got Tataru taking care of business. An army marches on its stomach. Tataru took that lesson to heart.
surfeit of sumptuous foods, wondrous sundries, plenty of clean undergarments. Yes, I do believe we have everything we need for a lengthy voyage. You are returned, Lowly. I trust you learned much from our Doman friends in Revenant's Toll. I am eager to hear all. I thought, though that can wait until we have left port, we will have enough time to talk on our journey to Kagani. Our spice trading friends have completed their preparations. Assuming you have completed yours, you may inform the deckhand that we are ready to depart. To Kugane we go! One of my favorite places. It's so pretty. And has one of my favorite cutscenes in the beginning. I should say in the beginning of an expansion, I guess, is the proper way to say
Twelve
it.
be praised. Full sure was I that I had come too late.
Eorzea, tell me you haven't come all this way just to see us off.
Nay, my lady. Ere you quit these shores for eastern climes, I wished to share some words of seeming import. Look ye where the sun doth rise, see crimson embers, darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall, see azure lost amidst the squall.
Well, that sounds suitably foreboding. Another one of your prophecies, I presume?
Of far eastern origin, aye. It is mine earnest hope that this ancient wisdom may serve to guide you on your journey. For what dangers lie in wait for you upon those distant shores are yet beyond my knowing.
A parting gift befitting your roundabout ways. Thank you.
I have more than words for you, my lady.
It's beautiful. Is it for me?
I wish that there was a way to get a glamour for that specific sword for my red mage. Like, once I get Lowly's red mage leveled up, which I haven't yet, or even the one for Phoenix, like, I would take it. That sword is so pretty. I love it. Whoops. And I'm pushing the wrong button over here. Forgive me.
Though undeniably powerful, your ethereal blade taxeth you greatly in the wielding. Not so this rapier, which shall serve you just as well against all but the most formidable foe.
Impressive. It feels as though it's attuned to my ether. I shall treasure it.
Honored guests, say your farewells, for the moment of our parting draws nigh. A fair wind blows, and I mean to follow it.
It would seem our ship is set to sail. Pray give my regards to Thancred and the others. And take care.
I love the old school music too when they do these little tiny parts right there. It's so pretty.
A fine day, is it not? Fair winds and following seas. The Misery is enjoying herself. Nevertheless, it would not do for you to spend the entirety of our voyage above deck. Let me show you to your quarters.
Is it supposed to do that?
Not under normal circumstances.
Captain! You're needed on deck! Something queer's afoot. The winds died down, the waters went still, and all of a sudden, we were dragged off course.
Dragged? By what?
Can't rightly say, sir. But some of the lads are muttering about seeing things in the water. Things that shouldn't be there.
I know what it was.
If you will excuse me a moment. Actually, might I persuade you to join me? Loath though I am to admit it, I have a bad feeling about this.
Odd. Most odd. Well, do you have any idea what's going on? No, as the man said, despite the absence of wind and current, the Misery is somehow being pulled off course. Well, why not fire up the cerulean engines you have hidden below? An excellent suggestion based on knowledge you should not have. Alas, our engines appear to be malfunctioning for reasons that escape my engineers at present. I'm telling you, Captain, it's them, the things the lads saw. Things? I don't suppose I could convince you to attempt something more descriptive, an adjective, perhaps? Sea-wolf superstitions and fairy tales, not more, but if you know, the things which he is so reticent to name are the souls of deceased women said to lure the sailors to their deaths. Sirens! Preposterous! Yes, indeed. If it is neither the sea nor the weather which is responsible, then it is probably a predatory entity of some sort, perhaps a siren or some such. I love Alice Faye's attitude. She's just like, well, if it's not one thing, it's another. Like, can we just go kill it now? Like, I'm with her at this point. Let's just go kill it. For all we know, it could be a fellow spice trader employing magics to seize and plunder passing vessels. Regardless, we have but one recourse, to let the current take us where it will and deal with whatever we find there. The unanimous group nod. What a thoroughly pragmatic suggestion. Oh, I am beginning to like you, girl. Once we arrive at our destination, my crew shall remain with the ship to defend it while we venture forth to deal with the cause of our troubles. Aye, aye. Then it is settled. I know not what awaits us, but it will rue the day it reeled us all in.
That appears to be the last of them.
Word from the Misery. Repairs are complete, and we may resume our journey without further delay.
I swear, if I never hear another ghost story, it will be too soon.
I remember the sea, the smell of the salt, and the crash of the waves as we drew closer to Kugane. The only port open to outsiders in Hingashi, across the Ruby Sea from Othard, from Doma. All the colors of the rainbow, all the peoples of the world, all in one place. I wish you could have seen it.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. It's very colorful, is it not? Strange, is it just me or is the ground swaying? Oh, poor Totoro is seasick. Congratulations, you now stand in Kugane, the western port of Hingashi, regrettably the only port and nation open to a foreign trade. Oh, and I do apologize for the unforeseen difficulties which befell us during our journey. Needless to say, your assistance in overcoming them was much appreciated. I don't blame him, but he's not in the mood for sure. Glad though I am to have arrived, I would remind you all that we are far from home, with limited resources at our disposal. Duly noted, brother. I shall take care not to enjoy myself in any event. Doma is our final destination, and our first order of business should be to secure passage there. Captain Carvalhain, I always have trouble saying his name. I realize you only pledged to take us as far as Kugane, but I have no desire to change the terms of our agreement. I should, however, be interested to know how you would go about reaching Othard were you in our position. At the risk of sounding obvious, you are in a port. Surely there is a kind and generous soul here who will aid you for the right price. You cannot be the first travelers seeking passage to Doma. The captain makes a good point. 'Tis likely that Yagiri and Kasetsu were first to come here for the self-same reasons we were. They must have found a way to Othard, assuming they're not still in the city. Ere we seek passage, mayhap we should first seek our friends. Leave it to me, Alfino. Making friendly inquiries is my specialty. Lest you forget, I got plenty of practice in Ishgard. Captain Carvalhain, could you direct us to the nearest tavern? Desperate for a drink, are we? You may find one at that large building just beyond the pier. Whether your journeys have come to an end or are about to begin, the Shiakaze hostelry is an ideal place to rest, relax, and reflect, or so they say. And with that, my dear scions, I bid you farewell. As soon as we have replenished our supplies, we must away. Ours was ever a fast-moving business. The spice trade, you mean? But of course, surely you did not think I traveled halfway around the world and delivered you to your destination solely out of the kindness of my heart. At least he's honest. Perish the thought. Thank you, Captain, and may the Navigator watch over and keep you. At least he's honest. He's like, you guys think I brought you over here out of the goodness of my heart? I don't give a shit about you. Right then, to the hostelry. After you. Ooh. So pretty here.
By the 12. I thought Ishgard remarkable, but this... We are certainly not in Eorzea anymore.
A tavern is a tavern, Alphino, here or anywhere else. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time to do what I do best.
Oh, 1,000 pardons, my lady. The signs of the 7th dawn, I presume. I hope your voyage was not too trying.
Here we go! One of my favorite parts is coming up! It's coming right here!
And you are?
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me. Hancock of the East Aldenard Trading Company, at your service. On behalf of Chairman Lolorito, I bid you welcome to Kugani and invite you to take refreshments at our local offices.
Lolorito? I was aware his interests extended beyond the borders of Eorzea, but not so far as Kugane. Regardless, I am disinclined to accept the hospitality of grinning merchants, especially those who serve a master with whom we have such a difficult relationship.
Alphino just said, fuck that.
My, such naked suspicion. I do hope that business with the Crystal Braves did not rob you of all faith in your fellow man. Or do you really think the chairman is plotting to drag you into another one of his grand schemes?
I beg your pardon? If you are trying to win my trust, you are failing quite spectacularly.
Oh dear, have I offended you? Once again, I must apologize. Too much time in the Far East, you see. One is compelled to talk in circles round everything here, and one finds oneself longing for the invigoratingly candid speech of the Uldan markets. Though I see now that this was neither the time nor the place to indulge said longing. Might I suggest that we continue this conversation at the company offices? Too many eyes and ears here, you understand. 'Twould be decidedly reckless to say any more.
If I may favor you with the invigorating candy you apparently crave, it would be decidedly reckless to follow a man I neither know nor trust. Give me one good reason why we should accept Lord Lolorito's invitation.
This part, this whole interaction right here is one of my favorite parts of entering Kugane, just simply because it shows a lot of character growth in both Alice and Alphino. They started out such meek characters, and then by the time you get here, they're both kind of just like, you know what? No, I don't think so. I don't trust y'all. I don't know y'all. I definitely don't like Lolorito. Like, tell him to eat a dick. And it just cracks me up, the sudden candor that they both have. It's one of my favorite parts.
Now there's the young diplomat I was told to expect. Very well then, I shall explain. You understand that you are come to a most reclusive and secretive nation, yes? One whose borders are closed to foreign trade save at this single port. Then it should come as no surprise that a great many parties have vested interests here. Merchants like myself are a given, of course, but for every one of us, you may be certain there is also an agent of a foreign government. Many notable nations and empires have embassies here, you know, including, of course, the Garlean Empire, with whom you have such a difficult relationship.
To paraphrase, Kugane is teeming with Imperial spies, one or several of whom could now be listening to our every word.
Something to that effect, yes. Beneath this veneer of bustling trade, a war for supremacy is being waged between world powers. One might say we were standing on the front lines, just not in public.
I still have my doubts, but he may have a point. I say we accept his invitation for now.
You must be lowly Laraxi, the slayer of gods, rider of dragons, savior of Ishgard, stealer of pets, if some of the most puzzling rumors are to be believed. I knew it. May I say what an honor and pleasure it is to make your acquaintance, milady? I just know you and I are going to get along famously. Now then, without further ado, allow me to escort you to the company offices. This being your first visit to our fair city, I shall make an effort to point out the various landmarks along the way, if you would be so good as to follow me.
You may avail yourselves of these offices for the duration of your visit. Come and go as you like, and know that you may speak freely here.
Your offer is most generous, but I will not enter into any agreement which would leave us beholden to you or your master.
A legitimate concern. Allow me to clarify, then. The chairman bids you consider this as an expression of his heartfelt contrition for the bloody banquet and the unpleasantness which followed. Never having been one to put stock in words alone, the chairman deems the provision of material aid to be a more appropriate demonstration of his sincerity. By sheer coincidence, your purpose here also happens to coincide with our own interests. That is, assuming you are come to aid the Doman Liberation Front.
How could... I will not bother to offer a denial. You have the right of it. To be specific, we are come in search of our Far Eastern allies, Yugiri and Gosetsu, whom we hope to assist in their fight.
The Auri Shinobi and the Rugadan Samurai? Then you will be pleased to know that they have both come to Kugani.
Are you sure?
Quite. They came here aboard a company vessel, you see. However, they encountered difficulties securing passage across the Ruby Sea.
The Ruby Sea? Sorry, I've never been any good at geography.
Forgive me. This calls for a map. We are here in Kugani, the sole open port of Hingashi, situated on her western coast. Doma, meanwhile, is here on the eastern coast of Otherd in Yansha. Therefore, if your friends are to reach Doma, they must first cross the Ruby Sea. Alas, this is easier said than done, as the Ruby Sea does not fall within the dominion of either Hingashi or Doma, being controlled since antiquity by a third party, namely the Confederacy. Said maritime collective is known for the consummate skill of its sailors, and for demanding that any vessel entering its waters pay a toll referred to as the Ruby Tithe. In exchange, the Confederacy's vast fleet guarantees the safety of those who travel within its territory. Now, as I'm sure you are aware, Garlemald conquered Doma some 25 years past, at which time the Empire saw no value in controlling the Ruby Sea. And thus did they turn a blind eye to the activities of the Confederacy. The recently appointed acting Imperial Viceroy of Doma had other ideas, however. She has formally condemned the Confederacy and declared that any who recognize their authority shall be branded enemies of the Empire. Bowing to this pressure, Hingashi severed ties with these toll-takers and forbade the payment of the ruby tithe, prompting the Confederacy to make it known that any merchants choosing to sail the Ruby Sea would do so at their peril.
No wonder they struggled to secure passage to Doma. What captain would risk such a journey given the circumstances?
I am told your friends were not so easily deterred from their course, but I know not whether their persistence bore fruit.
I say we follow in Yugiri and Gosetsu's footsteps and attempt to secure passage to Doma for ourselves. We will need to cross the sea in any case, and we may learn something of their whereabouts in the process. And should we find that they are still in Kugane, we can make the journey together.
In that case, I have some information which may be of use to you. No quid pro quo, I assure you. The chairman was most insistent that I aid you to the best of my ability.
We spoke with a number of merchants and captains at the southern piers. Several recognized Gosetsu and confirmed that they had been searching for a vessel to deliver him to Othard. None, however, made any mention of Lady Yugiri. Yes, it was the same story for us, and then you'll never believe what happened. So this Gyodo claims to have aided both Gosetsu and Yugiri. How fortuitous. Not the word I would have chosen, Master Alpino. Stupid's what I'd call it. I love Tataru. Stupid's what I'd call it. How can you agree to his price without making any attempt to haggle or even confirming what it was in the first place? Yes, that too is a misstep on their part, but it is not what troubles me the most. Gyodo and his brethren are not renowned for their generosity of spirit. Rather, they are disdained as scheming moneylenders, ever eager to turn a profit from others' misfortune. Everyone else we questioned said that Gosetsu was alone. Only Gyodo claims to have met both him and Yugiri. I suppose it's possible that Gosetsu made inquiries by himself and only called upon Yugiri once he had found a willing captain. But it is equally possible, if not more likely, that you are being deceived. Do not forget that there are parties present in Kugane with agendas which may run contrary to your own. The Viceroy was once a spy himself, as I recall. I should be surprised if she did not have countless agents here in her employ, all eager to prove themselves to their new master. And what better way to do so than by delivering her the heads of foreign insurgents? Fine, you may be right about him, but if Gyodo is working for the Empire, who's to say he didn't try the same trick on Yugiri and Gosetsu? I mean, if he did, he might know where they are, and if he succeeded, they might be in trouble. Anyway, if he holds up his end of the bargain, we'll have nothing to worry about, will we? But if he tries to betray us, I vote we take him as prisoner and punch him till he tells us the truth. Agreed. So if it's a trap, we'll spring it and deal with the consequences. I like the way you think. Very well, we should prepare for the worst. Tataru will remain here, and I shall follow the three of you at a discreet distance. Once more, I must caution you to avoid physical altercations at all costs. Even should Imperial agents attempt to engage you, the will not hesitate to clap you in irons or cut you down. If anything untoward should happen, you are to return here at once. Is that clear? All right, so we be going. To review, Lai, Slowly, and I will meet Gyodo as planned. Alfino will keep watch from a distance, ready to provide support in the likely event that Gyodo attempts to betray us to the Imperials or whomever else. Should that happen, you and Lise will subdue him, and together we will make our escape. As our actions will surely draw the attention of this... I cannot say that word. We will eliminate them with Alphino's assistance and return here with our prisoner. Does that meet everyone's approval? Of course, these precautions would be for naught if Gyodr does not play us for fools, but we shall see. To the bridge. Aye.